Hey, I'm Geeky Pastimes, and in this video I'm just going to do a really quick summary of everything that's happened on Pawn Takes Pawn and with the Black Ops Cold War reveals so far. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. So, I've been at the forefront of quite a lot of this so far. You know, we were the first to solve Pawn Takes Pawn and get that sort of teaser trailer, and we've been there solving like the Stadium Easter egg, and we've been there solving the Zork puzzle that we had yesterday. So one of my friends was just saying that it'd be a good idea to do a kind of recap of everything that's happened so far, just for people who are maybe just getting into this because they've started hearing about Black Ops Cold War, and they kind of want to know what's happening with this website and what we're doing. So, in the lead up to August 10th, lots of content creators had boxes sent to them from Activision. These were big black crates, they had a code on them, they had a combination lock and a letter on the top saying, text the code on your box to this number on August 10th and you'll be able to sort of get the code to open up the box. So, they all opened it up at the same time, and it kind of, like a lot of these things, happened at 12 PM Eastern. So they were all streaming them, and in the boxes they had projectors. So each of these content creators had a projector and a set of slides. They were all projectors from kind of, I think, the sort of 70s and 80s. And they had to work out how to plug them in and everything like that and put the slides in. Most of them had one of sort of 5 packs, I think it was, of slides that had various different codes and ciphers and things like that on them. They had pictures of countries. They had some sort of like bits of the map Summit from Black Ops, from the Black Ops series. And they also had some code wheels. So, and apparently Dalek got some pictures from like a family holiday. I think Activision were trolling him for some reason. So, we realised how to go into Summit. So, one of my friends actually, Emma, went into Summit and found that in Summit on Black Ops 4, loads of the computer screens had been replaced with things that showed kind of more sort of like circles and codes that fit with the ones on the slides. There were also a number of clocks linked to the cities that had been on the maps. So we managed to put all of that together. And once we solved all of that, we ended up with this code that said, Bish, you were here. And at first we didn't know what that was, but somebody realised that that was actually a chess game. And on the Call of Duty Instagram, they put out this kind of hangman style thing with a K in the middle. And someone realised that on a certain turn in that chess game, and the turn was explained by another part of the puzzles that we'd got with the projector, that turn was pawn taking pawn. So someone wrote in pawntakespawn.com, and that's how we got the website pawntakespawn.com. And the website had this sort of like computer on it. And you can see there's kind of this phone modem type thing, a computer on the left and a VCR on the right. And the VCR on the right would normally just flash 12 o'clock, but then sometimes it would give us a date. Now, on the 12th of August, so a couple of days later, a post-it note appeared on Pawn Takes Pawn just underneath the TV, and that said Tangled Web. And we realised if you went on to pawntakespawn.com/tangled web, you got a new page which had a kind of letter on it, just kind of talking about, you know, the idea that some wars are fought in secret, and it said know your history, and just loads of kind of, you know, cryptic things, starting to establish the theme of Black Ops Cold War, really. So from the 14th of August, so once that time, you know, it hit 12 o'clock on the 14th of August in Eastern time, we started getting these videos appearing. We got one every day for the next 6 days. And these videos each dealt with like a year or two in sort of Cold War history, and they showed lots of different events that were happening across the Cold War, and in between them there were these numbers kind of showing on a Nixie tube. So each video had a set of numbers, and it ended up being 24 numbers for each one, or 23 for one of them, but we're pretty sure that was a mistake. On the VCR, while these videos played, there would also be a code appear that said WZ for Warzone, and then there would be a grid reference, and the grid references corresponded to either bunkers 1, 3, or 10, or the shacks, the one by the TV station, the one in Farmland, or the one by Prism. And those would then have an 8-digit code afterwards, which was the keypad number to get into those shacks. When you went into those shacks or bunkers using the keypad, and that code doesn't change, you can still use it today, you could find dotted around them these bits of ciphers, and these were things that people had actually data mined quite a long time before, so we'd seen them a long time ago, and there were all of these different ciphers, all of these different ways of working out codes, and we fairly quickly realised that the numbers in the videos, by the time we got to the second day, there was actually not only a new video for the second day, but there was a second version of the first video with more numbers in it. We realised that those numbers were the sort of key to the ciphers. They were the things that we had to decrypt using all the different ciphers. So each video had a coloured dot on it, so that meant that we could match them up to the ciphers. On the 6th day, so by now we had 6 videos, and we had 6 versions of the first video, 5 versions of the second video, and so on. We had 24 numbers for each video, like I said, except for the lambda one. For some reason we only had 23 for that. And then they actually threw another curveball at us, because they gave us a new part of the page, which showed us that actually you had to sort of like translate the color codes to a different one. So each one wasn't exactly the one that we thought it was. So I think that might have been done to stop us being able to work out the code too early, or stop people trying to brute force any parts of it. But that meant that, okay, now we knew that which set of numbers matched up to which puzzle, and we could solve each puzzle into a 24 character code. Now, these character codes were actually on the ciphers. You can see again that sort of hangman style thing, so you could kind of check when you got them right. So once we'd solved all of those, so this is all happening on like the 6th day after those videos were appearing, we'd solved all of the ciphers kind of as best we could. We didn't know what to do with them, but then more clues started appearing on the website, saying things like timing is everything, and then showing us a list of times at 5-second intervals. Now, somebody on my Discord had actually already noticed at this point that the 5-second intervals were when the numbers appeared in the videos. But it wasn't like every video had a number every 5 seconds. It was like one of them might be at 5, then 20, then 30, and another one might have been at 10, 15, 25. So you had to kind of put all of the clues together, work out what was the timestamp when those clues appeared. Bear in mind, all of these videos were 20 minutes long, so this was quite a big job. You had 6 videos to check, each one with 24 numbers, or 23 for one of them. And we had to match them all up to the timestamps, then put them in order. Then what we had to do was match up those numbers that had appeared at the times with the letter that they got translated to using the ciphers. Now, all of the ciphers were different. So, one of them was a 4-square thing, so you had to turn the numbers into coordinates. One of them was the Venona cipher, so you had to use some things that we'd found in game, zoom cover, await further instructions from Bunker 11, and J4722, which is on the sort of victory screen in a helicopter. That you had to use all different ways to turn them into letters. So you ended up with trying to sort of like match up the letters to the numbers and the timestamp, then put them all in order. And then you had this string of what looked like kind of random letters. We realized quite early on that actually these letters could spell out words, and there'd be like a random letter where a space should be. So we spelt out the words, and you got this sort of quote that's talking about, time's ticking onwards, and there being this very real danger that's coming. And then the letters from the spaces spelt a different thing that said / play the game, find the truth. And then we could go to that website, and that's where we got the first Call of Duty reveal teaser. So we got a teaser trailer on that, and that was really exciting. That was one of the big things that we did. We were the first ones to find that link. And then we had this teaser trailer. It didn't have any gameplay or anything in it, but it just kind of showed us that something was going to be happening to do with, the Cold War, and this idea of there being a secret war and there being lots of propaganda and things like that. We had it confirmed that the name of the game was Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which, we'd known earlier from leaks and stuff like that anyway. But that's when the first time we saw all of these different things. So once that had been solved, and once the video went up onto YouTube, like you could actually go from the page that we found it, that play the game, find the truth page, on the YouTube channel in the description for it, it said that the reveal was going to be in Verdansk on August 26th. Then we waited till August 26th, not really knowing what was going to happen. And across the day, they started letting us know that there was going to be a playlist update. It was definitely going to be something in-game. Now, when that playlist update happened, I think it was like 6:30 British time, all of the playlists for Warzone disappeared and were replaced with one of them called Know Your History, which was kind of a recurring theme. Like, we'd seen things flash up in game that said Know Your History before. So this Know Your History playlist appeared. Now, in this playlist, what you had to do was you could go in with a team. There's still 100 players and everything like that. But once you got onto the once you got into the map, where you saw the plane, that carries you onto Warzone, you actually saw this like Russian spy plane go past. And all of this stuff had been teased in like Twitter messages on the Call of Duty accounts up to then, where they'd done like a little tease every day about this. And then you had to go in and complete a series of missions. So you had to go down and either kill people or loot boxes to find bits of a code. Then you had to go find an item that would help you sort of like be like a code book. Then you had to go find another item with some, like a key to it or something like that. And then finally, you got given a map square to search. And when you search that, you could end up finding woods. If you interacted with woods, he'd give you the Bay of Pigs SKS blueprint. And then once the time ran out on that, and you didn't actually have to complete the steps, you could just let the time run out if you wanted, then it would play a little bit more of the sort of teaser video that we'd seen before with that quote. And then everyone would parachute in again with no weapons and be told to run to the stadium. So you all had to get to the stadium as quickly as possible. There's like airstrikes constantly going off. It sounded like there was kind of an air raid siren going. There was a symbol that looked a bit like a nuclear symbol, and it looked like maybe there's a bunker or something in the middle of stadium. The gas would come in really fast on stadium. I think you had about a minute and a half to get there. So everyone would run towards it, which is pretty cool. You can see everyone running there. And then just as the time was about to run out, it started going back into that sort of quote trailer, and then we got the real trailer. So we got the first proper reveal of Black Ops Cold War with a kind of campaign trailer that showed loads of gameplay, a few cutscenes and things, and then a little hint of multiplayer at the end. And that said at the end that the multiplayer reveal is going to be on September 9th, which is a week and a bit away from when I'm making this video. So we kind of thought that was it. We kind of thought, okay, maybe that's everything done. That's everything finished until September 9th. Like, we're done for now. Then, yesterday, so that was the 30th of August, there was the Call of Duty League Championships, and on the last day of that, they played this video during that show, which kind of had someone in a hoodie being in the Pawn Takes Pawn room, and all the way through it, they kind of had these graphics and stuff implying that there's kind of a bunker underneath Stadium, so I'm kind of assuming it's meant to be underneath Stadium. Maybe we'll get to see it in-game at some point, that'd be cool. But yeah, so they had this video that was meant to be in the Pawn Takes Pawn room, and it sort of had someone that some people have suggested is Blackjack from the Black Ops series. I don't know how the timelines work out, but maybe it's a new version of Blackjack. And then there's, it mentioned Pawn Takes Pawn right at the end of that. So it went back to the Pawn Takes Pawn website, and now there's a whole new page there, and it had this computer, a dot matrix printer, new posters and things like that, and the game Zork. And there's also a safe in the background that we can't do anything with yet. So there were instructions on a post-it note and on dot matrix printer saying like, oh yeah, you can play Zork and you get all of these achievements, and it showed some easy achievements to get in it, just things that you can do right at the beginning of the game. So you can click on the computer, type in Zork, and then you can play Zork, which is a real old text-based adventure game. It's like fairly simple to do. You can complete the whole thing in about half an hour if you follow a walkthrough, which is what I did. So you can just load into this game, go through it. And then if you get 5 achievements in the game, which is really easy to do, you can do that super quickly, then it asks you for an address. You need to put in your address. It seems like they're going to be posting people things. It does say, are you in the US or somewhere else in the world? So I think maybe they'll only be posting stuff to the US, which kind of makes sense. But it also asks for your email address, so you never know, you might end up getting something emailed to you if you're somewhere else in the world. But then you can actually carry on playing, and we finished the game. I think we were the first ones to finish Zork on this website, and then it took you to another website called Pitch Black, and on this website it just kind of, there's a few more hints about stuff that's going on, and then it just says more to come. So we're waiting for like the next step of Pawn Takes Pawn now. So far in Zork, we've found 29 achievements. I think there's probably more just because 29 is a weird number. Like there might be a 30th one somewhere. But you definitely can finish the game and get all of the points, get 350 out of 350 points. And then kind of that seems like everything there is completed. Now today on the 31st of August, we've just had Pawn Takes Pawn updated again, this time with a video on a VCR back where the first set of videos were. But this one is just a video that was shown during the CDL broadcast. So this is just kind of this person that some people think is Blackjack talking about all of these things in the Pawn Takes Pawn room. So you can watch that now if you missed it in the CDL broadcast. It doesn't seem like they've added any new puzzle steps, but there is a lot of talk of like hacking and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do more with that terminal, maybe finding some way to do something other than play Zork on it. Maybe we've got to hack into it somehow. So that's kind of what we're thinking at the moment. So hopefully that was useful. That's kind of a recap of where we're up to now. It's the 31st of August right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they added some more stuff, you know, later today or over the next week. So I'll keep on posting it. If you want to keep up with all this stuff, check me out on Twitter. I'm Geeky Pastimes there. And every time there's a new step, I jump onto Twitch, and I'm Geeky Pastimes on Twitch. So you can follow the streams and help out and give me advice and come up with ideas and stuff like that. If you want to check out the Discord, where there's a big group of people now, I think we've got like 500 people there, all talking about this stuff and sort of coming up with ideas and trying to help each other, I'll put the link in the description below. So thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.